Second section of phase control rectifier is single phase half wave rectifier. In this session, we will consider one pulse converter with variation of loads. So we will consider here resistive load, RL load and RLE, RE loads. Different loads are observed and we will see the voltage and output current waveforms at the load side. So first one is resistive load. In this is the positive cycle from 0 to pi and 0 to 2 pi is negative cycle and this process will be continued. From 0 to pi our thyristor will be switched on at alpha angle. When it is triggered by the gate pulse it will switch on and it will switch off at pi because after that the voltage polarity will be reversed and it will be in the reverse bias and no need of commutation, it will be commutated by natural commutation. So in a complete cycle from 0 to 2 pi V output equal to Vs from alpha to pi and it will be equal to 0 in the remaining section. So the conduction period is pi minus alpha. So we can find the output average voltage by using the formula 1 by time period and integrate under the period where thyristor is turning off. So V output equal to 1 by 2 pi integrate alpha to pi and V output equal to Vs when thyristor is on. So V output equal to Vm sin omega t and integrate this term with respect to omega t. We get the output voltage Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos alpha. Output current equal to output voltage divided by resistance. So this is the output current waveform and average value of output current will be equal to average value of source current. The drawback of single phase half wave rectifier is that the source current contains DC component and it saturates the supply transformer core. The transformer which is used to supply the power to the half wave rectifier, it will be saturated by this source current because the source current and load current are same. Therefore, half wave rectifier generally not preferred for applications. Output RMS can be found by squaring the voltage magnitude Vm sin omega t whole square, then integrate it from alpha to pi in terms of omega t, then dividing it by the time period 2 pi and then taking the under root of the whole term. The resultant will be Vm by 2 under root of pi and whole under root of pi minus alpha plus 1 by 2 sin 2 alpha. Here pi minus alpha is in radians. Output RMS in generalized terms we can also write V output RMS equal to V magnitude mean peak value divided by under root of 2 into time period whole under root of upper limit minus lower limit plus half of sin 2 lower limit minus sin 2 upper limit. Here in single phase half wave rectifier with resistive load we have time period 2 pi, upper limit is pi and lower limit is alpha. So these values if we put in this formula we get the equation V output RMS which we have derived previously. Input power can be written in terms of RMS values as VSR ISR into power factor and also it can be written in terms of fundamental value of the current and fundamental component of the power factor as Vs are Is1 cos phi 1, where Is1 is the fundamental component magnitude of current. Vs is Vm sin omega t source value and the RMS value is Vm by root 2. Similarly, source current RMS is equal to load current RMS equal to V output RMS divided by resistance. So, and for resistive load, the output power is equal to output RMS voltage multiplied by output RMS current. If there are no losses, so P input equal to P output. Equate this equation, we get the value of power factor. And also equating the, first we have to equate this output power with equation first. Then we get the power factor V output RMS divided by V source RMS. And then if we equate this equation with equation number second, then we get the power factor as G into FDF, where G is distortion factor, which is equal to fundamental source current divided by RMS value of source current, and cos phi 1 is fundamental distortion factor. Some conclusions related to power factor are that power factor depends on firing angle. As alpha increases, power factor is decreasing. Power factor depends on shape of supply current waveform, that is, it depends on harmonic of AC side of converter, because we have the formula power factor equal to Z into FDF. Third one is power factor also depends on type of converters and type of load. So if the load is changing, as we can see in next topic, when the load is changed from resistive to inductive load, the power factor will improve or it will degrade. We will see. And on the type of converter, that 1 pulse, 2 pulse, 3 pulse converter, what will be the condition of power factor, we will see. Drawback of power electronic converter. Converter injects harmonic into supply and reduce its power quality. To rectify this, we have to use AC filter at AC side of converter. At high value of firing angle, power factor is very low. So we have to draw high reactive power from the supply, and to get the supply, we have to connect a reactive power source on AC side of converter to compensate the required reactive power for the converter operation. So we can summarize the above points by using this diagram, that the AC input which have to pass through the converter, and we have to convert this AC to DC for using the load. So this AC input is first filtered out and then it will pass through the reactive power source, which add the reactive power to it, and then it pass through the converter and then it's supplied to the load. Next one is single phase half wave rectifier with RL load. This is also one pulse converter, but the drawback here is that negative spike of voltage is appeared. What is negative spike? We will see that when thyristor is forward bias and current is flowing like this, inductor is charging the energy and resistor is absorbing the power. So from alpha to pi, voltage, output voltage follow the source voltage, and current, output current is rising. At this time, from pi to beta, this is known as extinction time. When thyristor is reversed bias but it is not turned off at this instant because inductor has some energy and it will continue to discharge its energy to supply and to the resistance. So for some time when inductor have some energy it will try to discharge and the current is start falling and it will continue to supply until the energy is equal to 0. So this is known as extinction time and the negative spike is appeared in the output voltage waveform which result in negative power. And what is negative power? It is the power which supply from load to source. It means load is delivering and source is absorbing the power. What is the drawback here is that the power factor will reduces because the total energy delivered by the source will reduce due to this. This drawback will be overcome by using freewheeling diode. In next part we will see. So in RL load with mode 1 from alpha to pi, when thyristor is conducting, we output equal to source voltage. So power flow is positive and this is the KVL equation we will obtain. Vs equal to Ri naught plus LdI naught by dt, where I naught is the current flowing through the loop. This is the differential equation. We will solve the differential equation by using the differential equation techniques, and we get the solution like I naught equal to particular integral and sum of particular integral and complementary function, where particular integral is a steady value and complementary function is a transient value. This is the solution we obtained. We will find the constant by using this technique. At omega t equal to alpha, I naught is equal to 0. So we get the constant value. Now at mode 2 from pi to beta, which is known as extinction time, half Li square energy is discharged to the source and resistance. So energy is releasing its energy. Here inductance energy makes thyristor to conduct even in the negative cycle. So until it completed energy at omega t equal to beta, due to which what happens, the output power reduces and hence the power factor will reduce. This is the drawback. The circuit turn off time is the time after switching off the thyristor. What is the minimum time we have to reverse bias the thyristor? So here circuit turn off time is 2 pi minus beta, and we will divide by omega, we get the circuit turn off time. V output we can obtain from alpha to beta 1 by 2 pi integrate from alpha to beta until when V output is equal to supply voltage. So we get the V output equal to Vm by 2 pi cos alpha minus cos beta. This value is also smaller than Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos alpha. Average output will also reduced. This is the output RMS. We can also get this formula by using the generalized formula. At there we have to put upper limit equal to beta and lower limit equal to alpha. By putting this value in the general formula, we get the output RMS formula. Next one is 3-phase half-wave rectifier RL load with freewheeling diode. Here in this diagram we can see that freewheeling diode is connected, which is used to overcome the drawbacks in RL load. What were the drawbacks? That average output was reduced and power factor is reduced due to the negative spike of the voltage and the negative power flow from load to source. So we have to avoid that. So negative spike is avoided at the output voltage, and as the voltage equal to 0, so the power flow from the load to source will also equal to 0. So power factor will also be improved by this technique. This is the freewheeling diode technique. In this period, alpha to pi V output is obtained like in single phase resistive load. So average voltage equal to Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos alpha, and the current waveform from alpha to pi, thyristor will be turned on and thyristor will be off at pi and freewheeling diode will turn on. This is the circuit turn off time. So in mode 1, source is delivering to the load, and in mode 2, the thyristor is turned off and source and load are disconnected, but inductance have some energy, so it will deliver to the resistance. So half Li square is delivered to I square R. Power factor is improved. This is the result of the freewheeling diode. V output is also equal to Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos alpha. It will also increases, and RMS value will also changes. Vm by 2 root pi pi minus alpha plus half sine 2 alpha whole under root. The circuit turn off time is pi radian. So negative power is removed, so power factor is increased. What are the advantages of freewheeling diode? Power factor is improved on AC side of converter. Negative voltage spike of output voltage waveform removed, and thus output voltage and active power and power factor improved. The shape of output current waveform is improved, and hence performance of converter is improved with freewheeling diode. The power factor of semiconductor is better than full converter due to its freewheeling action. Therefore, the performance of semiconductor is superior to the full converter. These are the advantages of freewheeling diode. Next one is single phase half wave charging a battery. Here the load is resistance and battery with voltage E. Here only one thing we have to understand, that in resistive and RL load there was no battery connected at the load side, so thyristor was turning on a forward bias period from 0 to pi. But here we have a battery connected E voltage, so we have to see that when our supply voltage is greater than the E, in this time period only thyristor will be forward biased, and when supply voltage is less than E, our thyristor is reverse biased. So this whole time period, our thyristor is reverse biased. So how can we find the conduction angle? Assume that this is the theta 1 when Vs equal to E, and this is the theta 2. So we'll find theta 1 by put omega t equal to theta 1 in Vm sin omega t. So Vm sin theta 1 equal to E. So theta 1 equal to sin inverse of E by Vm. And theta 2 equal to, it is symmetrical in nature because we have sinusoidal response. So theta 2 equal to pi minus theta 1. When thyristor is turning on, V output equal to source voltage, and source voltage equal to R I naught plus E. It is a KVL equation we have to apply in the loop. From here we get the I naught value Vs minus E by R, where Vs is Vm sin omega t. When thyristor is turned off, current is 0 and output voltage equal to the EMF or the battery voltage. The circuit turn off time here is pi plus 2 theta 1. Peak inverse voltage of the thyristor is the maximum voltage which we have to apply by our circuit when the thyristor is in reverse bias. So the reverse bias maximum voltage is Vm plus E. Average output we can also find by using this formula, 1 by time period, and we know that our thyristor is on from alpha to theta 2, and when our thyristor is switched off, V output is not equal to 0 it is equal to E when theta 2 to 2 pi plus alpha. So we will find the average value 1 by 2 pi from alpha to theta 2, we output equal to Vs. So integrate Vs with term of omega t, and from theta 2 to 2 pi plus alpha up to next cycle it is equal to E. So integrate with respect to omega t. This is the average output voltage we will obtain. 1 by 2 pi Vm cos alpha minus cos theta 2 plus E, which is a battery voltage, multiplied by 2 pi plus alpha minus theta 2. These values are in radians. The current, output current, can be derived by this formula: 1 by time period, integrate alpha to theta 2, because current is only exist when thyristor is turning on. So alpha to theta 2 Vm sin omega t minus E by R, supply minus battery voltage divided by resistance. This is the output current we obtained. When the diode rectifier is charging, battery substitute alpha equal to theta 1 in the above equation to find the V output and I output. So when diode rectifier is used, we know that when resistive and RL load, if we use diode rectifier, then alpha equal to 0. But in this case, if we use diode rectifier, then alpha equal to theta 1. Diode rectifiers are uncontrolled rectifiers. We cannot control the output voltage magnitude. Here P input equal to source voltage, source current into PF, and output power is equal to I square, I RMS square into resistance plus EMF into average current. So the power dissipated in resistance can be determined by RMS current, and power in battery can be found by using average current. So this is the concept we have to consider here. So power factor is IOR square R plus E into I naught by VSR into ISR, by assuming that no loss in the thyristor and equating P output equal to P input. This is the RMS current we will calculate by using, this is the intermittent current, taking the square and integrate from alpha to theta 2, and then divide the time period, then taking the under root. This is all about single phase half wave rectifier. In next session we will continue with single phase full wave rectifier and semi converters.